Okay, so good evening or good morning to everyone watching. We've had some issues with setting up the stream. Energy Dan has some problems with his PlayStation 4, so this is probably going to be uploaded later on the actual Invictus Racing League channel. Mag is joining me in a second for the qualifying. We're here for the Singapore Grand Prix, so it's all a bit messy right now, but I think it should be alright. We're in for a great race, so hopefully Mag can join us in a second, and then we can watch qualifying, which is actually already started. First people are coming out. Let's see what the tires everyone's on. Like that. Second, I'm just checking on Mag. Okay, so let's get started then. Let's see who's out on track. We've got TB, TB2, Mr. Steen, Aaron, Lozak. Obviously Lozak tonight having a chance on the record of most wins in F2. So big night for him. Let's see, yeah, he's already in the final sector, so we'll just stay on board with him. Let's see what he can do. He's on the hard tires, which is an indication that he will probably try to go for the mediums in the race to stretch that stint and make sure he doesn't get too much overheating, which obviously is going to happen with the soft tire. Let's actually just get on board with him. And we'll take you for a lap around Singapore. So that were the first two corners, very tricky. You have to watch out to not cut that corner, and then it's very important to brake early, slow and fast out for this one onto the longest straight of the circuit. Obviously Lozak probably trying to do a banker lap right now. Not too much risks because the walls are always closed. Also that one is very tricky. You can also invalidate your lap time. Very harsh over those curbs. Well done from the Italian. And going through, yeah, now the most tight section of the track comes up. Very close to the walls there, and then over the bridge. Go all the way to the left, brake early, make sure you go wide in and have a good exit. A little bit deep, as Mac has now joined the session. Lozak is approaching the final sector right now, and also onto a crucial part of the track where you have to really take these corners. Take those curbs very much like he does here. Perfect line through there. Under the bridge again, under the grandstand actually. And then last few corners as Tony Wise sets the first lap time of a 37.0. Lozak coming now over the line, but Tony did it on a soft tire, and Lozak goes second with a 38.1. Ferocious Dan is on a 38.6, and Tony Y on a 37.0. But obviously he's on the soft tire, so that's going to be yeah, a lot quicker. As TB goes quicker than his teammate. So yeah, this is really a battle between the teammates that's unfolding. We can see that TB now once again in qualifying ahead of Lozak, and Lozak's been very fast, very quick. But the last few races it really seems like TB is catching up to him, and Aaron J actually goes to the best lap time people on hard tires. Great effort from him. But at the moment we've got three drivers in 38 once, so everything is very close together now, which is great to see, certainly on a circuit where there's so much corners, and where it's very important, or where it's very likely that people can make differences, because there's so much spaces where you can make that difference. So it's great to see that, and yeah, I think we're in for a very good second part of this qualifying, as everyone's going on to the mediums probably in the end. Haven't heard anything about rain for now, so I don't think that is going to come up. It might be coming up, we'll see. But at this point in this qualifying, at least, says no. Sorry guys, I was just watching whether Mac has joined already. As Jacob has put in a 37.3, only 3/10 slower than Tony Y, which is a great effort because he's on medium tires. That means that he won't probably be starting on mediums, because that's only one stint he's done now. So maybe he probably wants to do another stint, and he'll have to start on softs, which is, yeah, there's a low chance that that's going to be the best strategy, but it could be if something like a safety car comes out. And we've recently had the update today, which includes better safety car performance, meaning that safety car will probably come out more often when people retire, when there's people on track with wheels off and stuff like that. So maybe some people are just trying to do another different strategy, hoping that a safety car will come out and they can change tires and save them a little bit more, just go into an alternate strategy and win time during the safety car. It seems like some people, like Jacob maybe and Tony, are just gambling for that. So let's see who's on a quick lap. Possibly Mr. Steen now. He's already in 3 lap all tires, so this won't be the best lap probably. Sab could be on a quick lap. Someone in front of him. So just moving out of the way. So Sab 39.3. He's done 1 lap on the hard tire, so probably has set his time already and will not really go quicker now. We've got TB on an out lap, but on 1 lap old medium or hard tires. Tony Y on an out lap as well, a new set of soft tires. Let's see what he can do, if he can go quicker. So I'm just hearing that Mac will join us for the race in the commentary box. Yeah, because obviously it's a bit difficult for him to jump in during qualifying now. So I'll do the coverage of this qualifying session, and then we'll see Mac in the race as well to assist us on the commentary. So anyway, starts his lap. Meanwhile, Aaron J and Lozak are already on medium tires. A bit early, but yeah, why wouldn't they? Because there's room on track now, probably. Lots of people in the pits. Only 2 people really doing an actual lap now. Let's see how Tony fares. only one on who set a time on soft tires. Oh, and goes into the wall a little bit. That certainly cost him a lot of time, but I don't think he picked up any damage. So he can continue this lap maybe. Probably has lost a few tenths, so we'll see how his lap data is going. Oh, goes wide into that turn as well. And it's plus 2 seconds, so yeah, that's cost him too much time. And Lozak coming under the grandstand now, coming up to his lap on the mediums. So let's see what can Lozak do here. Nice review from the rear wing as Jacob has done a 37. Oh no, sorry, he's just on soft tires. No, we're still the same. Oh no, I think TB has gone quicker on all the hard tires. Massive performance from him, 37.7. Only a few tenths off people on soft tires, so massive performance. Lozak now. Oh, that might have been a touch with the ball. Let's see if this also ruins his lap. Still goes tight under the bridge, so it looks good to this point. Let's see what is. Oh, minus 1.4 seconds, so that's quite a good lap. Bit slidey on the exit there, but that means he's on the absolute edge of what his car can do. Final section of the track. Just have to take these. Oh, I think he probably invalidated this lap time because he's not gone on. Oh, what a shame! It would have been a very good lap. Let's see if he tries again. This lap. He does go over the line. Didn't go into the pits, so maybe he will. No, that's not very brave through turn 1. So maybe he'll just do a save up lap on ERS and go again next lap. Some more people on out laps. Frosch is then almost starting his hot lap. So on mediums now. So see if he can put a time in before Lozak does. Before Aaron does. Aaron just behind Ferocious Dan. And the rest of everyone is in the pits. Except for Sab, who is actually on a hot lap, I guess. But we'll stick with Ferocious Dan for now. DRS opens up. Very late braking for this corner. Try to keep it within the lines there because you can get an invalidation if you do it wrong. Sometimes you can go wide, but if the game thinks you do it in an odd manner, they would probably say no, that's not your lap, mate. So you have to be careful for that. You just want to stay inside those lines because sometimes it can be very harsh on you. Ferocious Dan has done that and is still gone on his lap. Oh, he's still on. The game says it's on an out lap, but I think it's actually in hot lap. We'll see what happens at the end of this lap, but it looks like quite a good lap. It's just, I think, a little bug in the game that it says it's still an out lap. Yellow flag, sector 3. That's the sector where Dan is driving at the moment. Oh, and it might have been Sab because there's some carbon fiber lying around there. He was taking too much risk. Yeah, he moves aside for his teammates. And he was also on a hot lap, so he probably made a little mistake there. Shame for Sab, as Dan is now coming across the line. And it's a pole position lap time for now. It's a 36.8. That's a massive time on medium tires. What a lap. Yeah, now it's up to the other ones, TB, Aaron, Lozak, to go under that. As Aaron does that, actually, as I'm saying it, Aaron goes to 36.415. Wow, I thought the 36.8 was a good lap, but that's 4 tenths quicker. Great lap. And what about TB? He's still in the pits. Goes out now. Lozak on his hot lap now, I guess. Just missed his sector times. Yeah, so as I said, I think he just saved some ERS on a cooldown lap and is now on a quick lap again. Under the bridge. Or the grandstand, I don't know what I have to say. Sort of both. Again, yellow flag, sector 3 as Lozak comes over the line right now. Crosses the line and it's another pole position lap time. This time it's a 35.974. Wow. Again 4 tenths quicker. So we have a bit of an odd situation here because in the beginning of this qualifying session everyone was within 1/10 of each other, and now there's massive gaps. So it's 4 tenths from Lozak to Tony Y. From Tony Y to Aaron is 1/10, but they are not on the same tire. And then from Aaron to Dan it's again 4 tenths. And then to TB2's lap time was on hards, it's like 9 tenths. So big gaps at this moment. As I was saying, that's probably because of the length of this track, that there's so much time on so much spaces where you can win time. Which really indicates, I think, very well the difference between drivers and the quality of drivers. Mrs. T moves up to P2. Great job, as Dan has had enough of this session. So Mr. Steam with a very good lap time actually. Let's see what TV2 can do. On his hot lap now. Right at the end of qualifying. And it will be interesting to see what his delta is at the end of this straight. Because that's where sector 1 ends is 5 tenths up already. But that was very optimistic, let's say, over that curb. So hopefully it doesn't invalidate his lap time, but I don't think so because he's still moving on. And it looks quick. Try to keep it wide for the turn in. Yeah, very well done. A little bit of oversee on the exit. Means he's on the absolute edge, as I was saying before. Now 9 tenths up. That's not that great actually. You want to have like 1.5 seconds, something like that. And that's going to be a 36.8 at this moment. Well, let's see what he can find in this last sector. Because this is obviously a very twisty part, so if you can do it right on softer tires, it should be certainly a few tenths in there. Crosses the line. Goes P3, still a good lap. Found a few more tenths in that final sector, and now it's Jacob actually who grabs pole position. Oh, I missed that. I'm sorry, guys. Great job from Jacob with a 35.7, but Lozak not too far behind on harder tires. So, yeah, great job from him. Jacob obviously on the alternative strategy right now, which is going to be interesting. But those other guys seem to be quite close behind, certainly for having harder tires, so it's going to be difficult for Jacob, and also it's very tricky on overheating on soft tires on this track, so we'll see what happens. In the race, but it's a brave decision, I think, from Jacob, because I think he does this because of the um, safety car feature now coming in. As we're watching um, SMS Coupe, I really don't know who it is. I think it's Coupe, yeah, slamming the back of Jacob all the time, but it's not actually Coupe. It's just AI. Don't worry. Those cars will be perfectly fine for the race. But yeah, as I was saying, Jacob will probably do it because of the safety car feature now coming in. Much bigger chance for a safety car. So it's brave. He'll be hoping for that. And still, obviously, it's possible, but it's very hard to keep those tires in a good heating window. As I have noticed that Mac has joined. Welcome, Mac. Good night.
Good evening, Warwick. Sorry I'm a bit late. It was a bit short notice, but happy to be here with you.
Yeah, no problem, mate. I was it as well. Had to do it very last time, but I think we're here, and we've got an exciting race ahead of us. So, what do you think about it?
Yeah, I'm just looking at the quality results now. It's going to be very, very interesting between Lozak and Jacob at the start.
Yeah, because obviously Jacob has got the softer tire, but those other guys are very quick for the harder tire they've got.
Yeah, certainly. It's just going to be interesting. And also, we've got a few extra variables tonight, haven't we? Singapore's really well known for the rain.
Yeah,
Plus, also, Codemasters also pushed an update, which means that safety cars might be more frequent.
yeah, I've
And we
been
all know
talking
what can
about
happen
it.
around Singapore.
Yeah, I've been talking about it already. So yeah, I was saying that Jacob maybe tries to do the soft tire in the with the a safety car coming out, because it's quite a brave decision to do it, knowing that the soft tire is a hard tire to keep in good condition on this track.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, you probably said already, but the soft tyres tend to fry themselves after a couple of laps, don't
Yeah,
they? So medium hard is definitely the way to go, unless you do happen to get yourself in trouble, break a wing here and there. Um, that's the only time you might consider the soft tyre to go for a glory run, maybe for fastest lap at the end.
yeah, exactly. That's it. And I've heard from some drivers before already that they are saying I'm just going soft because I'm expecting myself to go into the wall. I think that's never a way you should approach a race, but I think it happens. And yeah, as I've said, with the safety car future now coming in, it could be a thing that you're just lucky. If someone goes into the wall and there will be a quick safety car and you can go onto hard tires and just drive it out, win 20 seconds. But I think it's a big gamble.
Yeah, I mean, tyre wear can be quite high around here, and although it might not show it, if it doesn't, well, rather, if it's not showing it, your drop off in pace can be quite high as well. So if you are 10 seconds behind someone and you pit and get medium, you've probably got a good chance of catching them up if they're on old hards, for example.
Yeah. I know what you're saying, yeah. As we're starting for the formation lap right now, Jacob obviously will be, yeah, really wanting to keep that into turn one. I think if he can do that, even if his tires go off at some point, he might be able to just put it in high ERS mode and high fuel mode and just keep Lozak behind for the first stint. I think that's his goal really for the first lap. And for the rest of those guys, I think they're quite close together. So it'll be interesting to see also who dares more, maybe, in terms of overtaking and stuff. What do you think of that?
Yeah, well, certainly. I didn't quite fully glance the quality results, only the top few drivers, so I'm not quite sure how close the pace was, but F2 is always competitive. I watch the races back most weeks. Um, there's going to be lots of hopefully clean moves, but there's guaranteed to be some gung-ho, really tight, risky ones as well.
Exactly, because certainly on a track like this, it's always when you do, you have to be really committed. Uh, and I think if you not, you're probably going to crash into someone or put yourself into the wall. So it's also about bravery to make a move. So we'll see who's brave enough, and we'll see who's just not, and maybe puts it into the wall. We'll see maybe some drivers who just try to stay behind and stay with the pack. That's maybe also a good approach. At least, any case is going to be very exciting, I guess. And I'm hoping for a safety car.
Yeah, certainly a safety car will be great. It will mix it up a lot. Obviously, we're starting in dry conditions here, but also hopefully maybe a bit of wet weather towards the end could also spice things up a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know. Have you heard something about wet weather?
No, I'm just hoping for it, mate.
Yeah.
Just hoping for it. Test these guys out.
We've had it last year also at the end in this race, so it's not impossible. So not something you'll be hoping for as a driver, I think. Really not if you're, especially not if your race is going well. I think you just want to drive it out. But it can, for us commentators, make it very interesting. Everyone now lining up. Last few guys coming around the final corner. Obviously this is a hard time for the guys who are in front because the tires are getting colder and you have to wait and wait and wait. But now finally we can get going. Bit of an odd point of camera, but we've got 5 red lights, 4 actually, and we're out, and away we go. Looks like a good start from Jacob, yeah. Oh, there's a Mac.
Yeah, that was a gung-ho move by Coop. I think he didn't quite pull it off there.
Sorry, yeah, Coop, yeah. Still,
there's still a gaggle of drivers back from Coop. Top 5 seem to have escaped a little bit.
Everyone's come through quite okay. Very close, but it's been the perfect start for him.
Yeah, so yeah, perfect start for Jacob. He's obviously kept the lead. Lozak and TB, they seem to have made it through cleanly as well. Mr. Steen and Tony keeping close behind. It's just going to be interesting to see how it plays out. There doesn't seem to be anyone making too many moves at this moment. Maybe they're just waiting to see what pace everyone's got, waiting to suss everyone out.
Yeah, I think most of the guys are just thinking about lap 31 at this point instead of lap 1, which is good to see.
Yeah,
you know,
you can just settling into their rhythm and trying to work out where they're quick, where the car feels nice.
Yeah,
where
exactly.
It doesn't feel so good.
I think that's also one of the most important things around this track, to just get into your rhythm, because once you start thinking and you really have to concentrate to do it well, it's going to be very hard. Now it's just interesting to see whether Jacob can break away, because that's going to be important. Otherwise we can see a massive train forming.
Yeah, so his tyres will be still just about okay at this point, but soon it will really be struggling a lot. As you can see, Lozak is really close. He's only 2 tenths behind. Is he going to make a move, Lozak? He
just
holds off it.
I think at this point, yeah, I think at this point Lozak already knows as well that Jacob has just got a totally different strategy, and that he might not even be a real competitor if the race goes on. So he'll just take it easy. But it's obviously his teammate who's behind, and he must not let him get too close so that he will get overtaken instead of making the overtake himself.
Yeah, so we've seen that a few times this week in Invictus races. Drivers making a move or a lunge and then someone following through or overtaking both of the cars in front of them. So you're right, you've really got to look out for that. You've got to be confident and make sure you get that move done without letting people behind through as well.
So just looking at the other gaps, I think is quite close, but we'll stick with this battle because Lozak is also managing to stay very close now through the twisty section, which is a very good sign.
The DRS activates this lap, does it not? So we should see a move, you would have thought. Lozak seems to have the pace over Jacob even at this stage now.
Group goes very wide. I saw he was making an overtake, but now he was just saying he's losing a pace instead of gaining. Going back to the... Oh, a little bit of front wing goes off, doesn't it? Yeah, Lozak's lost an end plate.
I didn't quite see how that happened.
Yeah, I think it just went wide.
Yeah, just on the straight behind, RG overtaking Tony.
Oh. Yeah, I've just
nice,
missed it.
Nice clean move there from RG4422. Tony seems to also be struggling on his softer tyres. He's still got MJ Coop and Ferocious Dan.
They should be going off already. But Lozak's got a in Baku, where his front wing is broken. Still though very close to Jacob, but the best space probably lies in T.
Yeah, I guess for Lozak it's how long can he hold on with this wing. If his car still has a relatively okay balance, he should be okay to make it last. And then it's just be the case of losing the time in the pit stop against the likes of TV and Steam.
Yeah,
but if
maybe
he's really struggling, he might have to pit.
Yeah, maybe you just have to try and stay behind Jacob so he can have the DRS and not be overtaken. But he moves alongside Jacob actually.
Oh no, Coop.
On the straight. We've got a virtual safety car instantly. What a shame. So this...
I was just watching it, Morris, and it looked like he just got a big step over stick coming out the last turn. I don't think he was racing anyone. It's such a pity for him.
What a shame.
It's also a bit of a pity that it didn't actually, for us watching it back, didn't generate a full safety car.
Yeah. We can already see a difference in this because the virtual safety car was out instantly, and normally it takes like sometimes half a minute before it actually comes after a yellow flag. So I think this is already
the case. I think it's going to be something to really watch for the rest of this race.
Yeah, now I think
we're back up to full speed.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, and I think Lozak would have wished he had pitted because that would have probably saved him a lot of seconds. But then the hard tires were probably unable to go that distance. Still though, he's past Jacob. Jacob is losing performance, and even with a broken wing, he seems to be moving a little bit away from him.
Yep, certainly. I just noticed also a few seconds ago that TB230 got a 3-second time penalty. So just got to try and keep track of those.
Oh, okay, yeah, good to know. Yeah, so at the end of the race, you could possibly just check all the penalties, and we're back up to speed, I guess, in knowing where everyone lies. TB passes Jacob now.
And Tony pits on his soft side, so that's lasted 5 laps only.
Yeah, and also with a virtual safety car lap in it, so not too much. Let's see which tire he goes on to. Not a set of a set of mediums. So he will certainly be doing the 2-stopper then. Yeah, he'll be just hoping for a safety car now, I guess.
I'm just watching Steam as well on Jacob. Easy move down the back straight there. Into turn 5, I think it is. And he just needs to keep contact with Lozak and TB here, and he could be in with a shout off the wing still.
Lozak is making a little bit of a gap, but Jacob really seems to have issues with his tires because the pace totally drops off now.
Just going back a little bit as well, there's quite a close gap from Sab backwards, involving Aaron, Colin and Captain Steph as well. Looks like Sab's on the hard tyre when all of those drivers behind him are on the mediums. Sab's doing quite a good job to hold him back, but he seems to be falling away a little bit from Matty as well, who's also on the hard tyre in front of him. So I'm just watching.
As Captain Stiff overtakes Colin.
Looks like Colin's got badly damaged front wing, so it looks like he's hit. either hit captain stick or hit the wall somewhere.
Meanwhile, Lozak still doing a great job as he's extended the gap to 2 seconds with a broken front wing.
Yeah, he's doing a sterling job. Obviously, maybe he started the race with a little bit of oversteer, and that little broken end plate has actually corrected it and given him a nice balanced car.
Jacob's gone into the pits now, yeah.
Yeah, Jacob and Humber staying as well, so...
Oh, yeah. Dan very close behind Jacob's teammate, RG. Up for a move. Goes to the inside. Not too much defending from RG for 442.
Yeah, that was a simple DRS pass down there. Nothing really worth fighting over.
I think RG doesn't even bother fighting because it only costs you time around this track. Just trying to stay into the DRS maybe. We've got a yellow flag, by the way. Sector 2. Was very short.
I think it was Matty breaking his wing. Sab was close right up behind him, and Matty's got half his wing gone.
Yeah, he's really struggling there right now. You can see in that turn that he lost a lot of time. Going into the inside already. Brave move from both drivers.
I think that was more a case of Matty letting him go, knowing he's...
Oh yeah, I was having the helicopter shot, so I couldn't really see it.
Yeah,
looked like a big dive bomb. Okay, yeah, he's just letting everyone by.
Which I think is a sensible move, to be honest. Although I'm surprised Colin didn't hit with his front wing as well. He's still out there, they're racing each other now with the same level of broken wing. Surely they're sensible there, lads. Surely not into there.
Let's see what they do now. Oh, that was a little bit of a harsh move. Looks a little bit like Kubica and Massa. As Matty does go in, but Colin stays out. Probably wants to complete this stint. Was going to lose him a lot of time.
Yeah, I mean, he's already 3 seconds behind Captain Stiff. The drivers behind him have all pitted. So he's last on track for those who haven't pitted. Just make sure to watch this gap over the rest of this lap to see how much he loses, if anything.
Aaron's still quite close behind Sab. Going through the second sector.
Yeah, he's held that gap roughly a few tenths for the last few laps, but he doesn't seem to be able to get the pass on down. I think it's the Raffles Boulevard, isn't it? Down to turn 5 there. And that's despite having a bit of a tyre advantage.
And so Sab is on the harder tyre. Goes a little bit wide. But could indicate a little bit of a pace difference. And Aaron must get past because this is obviously time staying behind someone on harder tyres. At the front gap still relatively unchanged.
Everyone... Yeah, it seems like... Yeah, sorry, Morris. I was just going to say, it seems like everyone's kind of settling in from 1st to 5th, roughly. They're all kind of holding station almost, just wait and see what happens. As Colin has...
Oh! Yeah, finally... Oh, he's under the... We've got another virtual safety car. Ah, that should have been an actual safety car because he's in the middle of the track under the bridge.
Yeah, in a very narrow section. There's cars coming through there could have hit him easily, but as it is, we've got a virtual safety car. Will anyone...
Now people should be pitting.
I think that might have happened when lots of the people who needed to pit were already past.
Yeah, Aaron is not pitting.
The pit lane.
He will have quite a bit of advantage from that. And we're racing again. So yeah, the question is, does TB2 know that Lozak has got some damage? I think he does, if he's asked Jeff. And then he knows as well that if he just stays close to him, he can overtake him during the pit stops. So maybe that's what he's doing right now, just saving his tires a little bit. As he's coming a little bit closer now at this point, 1.4 seconds.
So he's running high, or was running high ERS, but he's got quite a full battery. He's running about 75% full on this battery, so I think he's, just as you said, Boris, just sitting there, biding his time, waiting for Lozak to either make a mistake or. Sorry, just to interrupt. I think we've had an incident between Eastley and RG. RG recovering really slowly with another broken front wing.
Yep, he's gone into the wall as well, I guess.
It looked like, I just saw the aftermath, I think they were having a little bit of a battle.
Oh, so Lozak's come in now. So he's trying the undercut, but he will have the front wing changed, I think. Yeah, they are changing.
I think it's probably the earliest he felt he could pit and push the hardest as long as he could. Much earlier than this, and he would be struggling.
RG coming into the pits as well. TB and Mr. Steen, I guess, will be obviously our 1-2 in this race, but effectively they will stay 1-2 because I'm expecting Mr. Steen to come out in front of Lozak as well.
Yeah, quite possibly. Now will be the time for them to push. But interestingly, Lozak's actually come out just behind Tony, his tyres are quite fresh still, but not as new as Lozak. And also, given their qualifying positions, you would say that Lozak's maybe got a pace advantage naturally anyway. So is Tony going to hold him up a little bit even more?
Yeah, and Tony's got to do another pit stop as well, obviously. Maybe you should have pitted during the virtual safety car. Yeah, maybe it was just past the pit lane entry. I don't know, but that could have been a good strategy. And now let's see what the leaders are doing. Oh, TB2 and Mrs. Steen move on for another lap actually, which is brave.
Dan is coming into the pits.
So 7 seconds behind the race leaders. Interesting to see where he comes out in terms of how close he's going to be to Lozak, because then we'll have an idea of how close Lozak is to the race leaders.
Is he getting held here? I was just watching on board with Dan, and it looked like he had a little bit of a weird glitch in the pit stop. He looked like he was held for a few seconds after the pit stop had been completed. It was quite strange.
Oh, what a shame. Yeah, loses a lot of time now as well. As Lozak is now going to try to overtake Tony, I guess, on the quicker tire. Has done a very good undercut then, Tony, to come out in front of Lozak. We have to give it to him.
That was close as well.
Oh, Tony tries to defend. Still side by side. Oh, that's very good racing.
I'll tell you what, Boris, when Lozak pulled out of the slipstream, going around the little kink on that straight, he nearly lost it on the rear as well. He had a big slap of oversteer there.
Was it that aggressive?
It was that aggressive. He left it to the last minute, but a good move from Lozak. He's now got some clean air. Have to see how he goes.
We're going back to the race leaders now to see if they're coming in this lap. Yeah, TB, I think, he's coming in. What does Mr. Steen do? Mr. Steen comes in as well. So this is going to be possibly the decider of the race. Who's going to come out on top. Lozak has had 2 laps to undercut. Which means if he's done a good pace with a little bit of DRS on Tony, he could have won some time.
Lozak's coming from the last corner just about now. Is he going
to get on board? Let's go on board with Lozak.
He has.
Has he passed him? Oh, what's happened to TB? Oh, that's been a very good undercut, hasn't it?
But also, what happened to TV to end up behind Mr. Steen as well?
Yeah, exactly. Did he have... maybe he had a... Nah, it's impossible. Because 3-second penalties aren't served during pit stops.
Maybe he got held, who knows, so maybe...
yeah, some other people.
The Racing Point pit lane was... pit stop boxes in front of the Williams, so the Williams came past and held him in. Who knows?
He's quite yeah, 2 seconds also behind Mr. Steen. But those guys both lost out massively, I believe, because it's 2 seconds to Lozak.
I think the undercut has been massive though, even though Lozak was held up behind Tony a little bit.
Yeah.
Mr. Steen and TV trundling around on really old tyres has just cost them. I think even if they didn't have any issues in the pit stops, they would have been behind as well.
And don't forget that Lozak had a broken front wing and still was on about the same pace as TB and Mr. Steen, and now he's got a new front wing. Yeah, probably has a lot of more pace, which can declare this undercut. So race pace seems really good on Lozak's end.
I'm just watching.
Jacob is close.
And Sab, yeah. Obviously, they're on very different tyres and different strategies as well.
So Jacob's got a bit again, probably. Sab at the end of in the middle of his stint, let's say it that way. Jacob is coming close. It's crucial for him to overtake Sab. Ooh, that was close. I think
that was close, but a brilliant move around the outside there.
Wow.
Really great move there from Jacob.
Estimat's is in the lead, actually.
Yeah, so Estimat's in the lead by about 9 seconds. All these drivers we're seeing now, so Easty, Jacob and Sab, they all have to make another pit stop, I would say. So they are racing each other for position.
Captain Stiff as well. He's also still on old medium tyres. And Lozak close behind Captain Stiff now, trying to go for the move. Just doesn't. You get another chance in a few turns as we're coming around the final sector now.
Yeah, if I was betting now, I would say Captain Stiff would be pitting this lap, but we'll have to see.
Captain Stiff obviously is known for going very long on his tyres, but yeah, he stays out for another lap. This guy's really attacking that inside curb there, which is crucial to get a good run through there. So it's very brave from them. It's very close to invalidating your lap time and getting a warning, as the Captain Stiff does get a penalty. Lozak moves to the right. Oh, yeah, good move already. Before the arrest.
Keep an eye on Tony, Mr. Steen and TB as well. They're very, very close.
To the outside as well. And Tony manages to hold him off, I guess. Oh, inside. Ooh. Yeah, that was a little bit too close. Out of that.
I don't think Mr. Steen got any damage from that, but it certainly did.
I think he just realized at the apex he had to abort that mission. TB now very close to him again. And once again, your comment at the beginning of the race comes back. He has to make sure he doesn't get overtaking instead of overtaking.
Yeah, certainly for Steen, yeah. He just needs to keep his head a little bit. He knows he's faster than Tony in front. I guess what they will be worried about though will be Lozak, who's just looking at the timings, probably 1, 2, 3, 4, about 4.5 seconds in front of them already.
Yeah, he's just launching off at this point, and that's what's so frustrating, because you want to get past someone, and it's so difficult, and then you have to try to keep yourself away from making stupid moves, basically.
It's not only that, is it, Warris? I mean, when you're really trying to make that move, you maybe try and put the throttle down that second earlier a little bit harder, brake that a little bit later. You can easily tap the wall with your tyre or your wing. It's really quite
And look at this with
Dangerous.
4 tires, 4 cars very close. Mr. Steen in the middle.
Oh.
Ooh, and now TB is coming through. Yeah, so he seems. Oh, Mr. Steen now coming through again. Oh.
Well, we don't know what to commentate on there, do we? I mean,
No, wow. And now once again going side by side.
Oh.
Those guys still keeping it clean, I believe, which is actually incredible that they didn't touch there. Yeah, they did touch, but I think every wing is still in one piece. What a battle.
I think so too. There was definitely a 4 in a bed there, I think, in one situation. Fellow commentator Invictus Malc would have been screaming, getting way too excited over that. But yeah, what brilliant racing there from the 4 of them. Somehow Mr. Steen didn't cause a massive accident in the middle of the. I think it's Tony and Gareth there.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I think 99% of the times you get to get it in that way when you're sandwiched and the other cars are trying to turn in. You're all spinning out. But they just left enough room for each other.
Yeah, somehow they.
Lozak going past Sab, by the way. Go on.
Yeah, I was just going to say somehow fate just meant that they just didn't crash or anything. As Captain Stiff finally pits, I think his tyres were dying on that lap. So he managed, I think, 14 laps on the medium, so it's very impressive. I think he qualified outside the top 10, so they would have been new mediums, but still, really impressive.
Steen moves past Tony now. Everything is calmed down a little bit, and it's going to be crucial for TV to do the same very soon, because otherwise Mr. Steen obviously is off and gone.
Just looking back a little bit further, Humberstone and Ferocious Dan were all over each other coming into the, I think it's the Anderson Bridge section. Really close again.
Yeah, still very close. For the last 2 points, or last 3 points actually, that's in this battle. Yeah, Ferocious Dan probably has the better tire at this point. A little bit wide from Humberstone.
Just coming off the pit straight as well, just looking at Sab and Aaron. Sab is coming to the end of his stint for sure, but Aaron is on fairly should be good tyres, and he's making the move, pulling to the left. I think he's made it successfully. Yeah, Sab's just let him go. I think he just realised there that Aaron was the faster driver, and Aaron moves up into 4th. He is only 3.5 seconds behind Lozak, but on the medium tyres, so he's probably going to have to pit again for sure.
Yeah.
Keep an eye on him.
Yeah, I agree on that one. But still, yeah, still though for his TB. Oh yeah, I'm watching it. Oh no! What a crash!
I'll tell you what happened there. I don't know if you switched just in time,
safety car. I just switched when they started braking. So we've got a safety car now, and this changes everything. SMS will probably pit and be in a very good position now. What a crash! Can you talk me through that one?
Yeah, and Isti Max has got a drive-through penalty for speeding in the safety car, which is sticking to exactly the end of his stint. I mean, he was in prime position then to retain the lead in the pit. I presume he would have pitted at the end of this lap, and he's just got himself that drive-through. But anyway, back to the Tony and TV incident. It basically looked like Tony was holding the outside. So the outside of turn 5, or what would have been the outside of turn 5, and TV was coming down the inside, and it just looked like TV, I don't know what happened, maybe thought he was in front of him enough, but it just looked like he moved over him to take up the normal racing line, and it just squeezed Tony against the wall, and yeah, I think you saw the aftermath of all that happening around turn 5. They both
for me it looked like Tony was also just going way too hot into that one. He was going so quickly. He just couldn't get the car.
Yeah, he had already been smashed into the wall at that point. I don't know if it was lag or just the cars connecting, but looking at this, everyone's in the pits apart from
Lozak. That's interesting.
So
On estimates, let's see in the race director. Oh, sorry guys. Can you check the race director, because we had that issue last week as well, where the game said something about disqualifications, drive-through penalties, and it wasn't actually true.
Yep, checking it now for us. Yeah, so SD Max is listed as having drive-through for speeding onto the safety car. So,
yeah, okay, we'll see. Yeah, a real shame for him.
Really shame, because he would have been in the prime position there, wouldn't he?
Yeah, look at where he's at now. Everyone's pitted. He's on new tires. He's just behind Lozak, who's on old tires. This could have been his race again, just like last time.
But unless there's another safety car or something later on, he's going to be, with the drive-through taking 20 seconds or so, he's going to be put off right out the back of the field. He's going to be driving by himself. Such a shame for him.
Yeah, real shame. And you're not allowed to do it on another safety car as well, are you?
Yeah, I think you have to do it under normal racing conditions, don't you?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
It's going to lose a lot of time. I'm just staying on the race direction, just having a look at other penalties, just so we can keep anyone watching along with us tonight informed. So it looks like TV's got 3 seconds, I think. Aaron's got at least 3 seconds. Lozak's got at least 3 seconds. Tony as well. Humberstone. So most of the drivers having at least 3 seconds.
Okay, so everyone's quite like equal on penalties.
Yeah, I think of the front runners, yeah, I would say so. I think the only one who might have more is Matty and Aaron. But of course, when you're on lap 18, there's still.
Yeah. Oh, TB2 picks a 5-second penalty during the safety car. As we're talking about it.
That is very strange.
That could be a corner cut, which wasn't really. Yeah.
I mean,
maybe the stewards have a look at it.
I mean, the only thing I can think of is maybe he got too close to the driver in front. Maybe like keeping his brakes warm or something and had to dodge and cut across the corner, but it's very strange under the safety car.
Humberstone also picking up a penalty. So this could be some sort of glitch with the new safety car feature, because I don't think that's actually happening.
No,
or that that they need to get penalties on.
Yeah, I think if that's really happening, we'll check in a minute, but if that is, then I think there'll be a few complaints through to the stewards about this, because
yeah, I think there's...
They're obviously not gaining any advantage through this.
No, these penalties...
The argument is that if they are slightly going off the track, they shouldn't be, because they're obviously going really slow speed, but equally, they're obviously not gaining anything. They're under controlled safety car conditions. I think they'll probably get those removed. Matty as well.
Multiple warnings. And that could be maybe more true, but yeah, it's still stupid to pick up penalties. Safety car in this lap. And I was just going to say there's also some interesting things, because Aaron is on hard tires, which means at the end of the race he could be in a better position than some other drivers, because we've still got 13 laps to go. And those mediums will also be pretty shot at the end of the race.
Dan picking up a penalty as well. Yeah.
I think there's some kind of issue with the new safety car procedure, because it's very odd to see that. But we'll hear from the stewards what their decision is on this one. We go racing again, and I'll let you do the commentating on this one.
Yeah, so Lozak's holding it really slow coming through the corner, almost letting drivers crash into him, as several drivers are getting penalties for colliding with each other. I think It's too much to say. Mr. Steen making a move on Sab. TV also on Captain Stiff. Dan and Tony look like they're swapping positions as well, back down 11th and 12th. Dan also on Matty as well. Just watching Lozak and SD. It's fairly stable at the front. No one's really moved.
I think TB2 is doing a good job. Two places up.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how this plays out, because obviously Lozak's gambled on his pace and his tyre wear, seeing him through, but everyone behind is on, well, 8-lap younger tyres. It's going to be really interesting to see what happens here.
Yeah, because his tyres certainly aren't very good now anymore, and it will be even difficult to get those tyres to the end, because he's got quite a long way to go.
I think he'll get them to the end, but how fast he'll be isn't in the matter, because looking at it,
exactly.
Eastie, okay, he needs to take his drive through, but Eastie's all over the back of him. And
I'm seeing some end plates going through the air.
I think that's just a steam.
And Jacob as well. Jacob going into the back of SMS, who has a massive oversteer moment in trying to stay close to Lozak.
So we're currently looking at
SMS is now doing his drive-through penalty. Jacob second. He could be on for a good one now, as everyone is very close.
This could go any way. Who knows what's going to happen here? I mean, you're currently looking probably at the best place for the rest of the podium is probably Sab and Aaron and Humbo, who don't have broken wings and have fresh tyres.
Yeah. Because Jacob has got a broken front wing. I forgot that for a second, which probably puts him out of the question then again.
Yeah, so it looks like Lozak, even with his older tyres, has pulled out a little bit of a gap on Jacob. So for Jacob and the Steam, it's just going to be a case of can they last 11 laps without understeering into the wall or getting in trouble.
Yeah, exactly. Because a podium is certainly on the charts for him. Aaron coming very close now as well. And then there's a little bit of a gap to... actually, it's very close.
We've also got to kind of consider that.
Yeah, go on.
There were so many penalties during the safety car, and also at the restart there.
Yeah.
Who knows what people have? There's going to be a lot of... Well...
Safety car again.
Retired.
Safety car again. Oh! And now Lozak surely has to go into the pits.
You would think so, as with Jacob and Mr. Steen. So
this is...
I would say it's probably Sab net leader.
What's wrong? Has Mr. Steen got some damage as well? Oh, he's got damage as well. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry, but I think it's all of them are not coming in.
I think
Steve
he was.
and Jacob are not coming in.
He was thinking about it, but
yeah,
he just didn't.
When Jacob and Steve came together, they both, I think, pushed each other into the back of Eastie.
Some people coming in. TB2 now going for a gamble.
That looks like he's having a front wing change himself again.
Yeah. Okay.
Just looking at Matty as well. Yeah, that's another front wing change for Matty as well. And not sure about Gareth. I don't think he pitted on the last safety car though. So they're all going to be on fresh tyres. Matty looks like he's going for the softs.
Yeah, I just saw that. That's a very interesting choice, I guess.
I mean, maybe he did it by accident, or maybe he's run out of other tyres, but he's going to be really struggling to get those to the end there.
Yeah, and really, if he would have been in the front, he could have maybe made a gap and then defend it, but he's all the way at the end, so he will have to overtake and then keep the tyres in one piece as well, which is a very hard thing to do, I guess, with 9 laps to go.
Yeah, certainly. So, it's taking stock of what's going on at the minute. I'm just taking a look at all the incidents and everything, and wow, there's quite a few penalties.
Yeah, and we also, we have to. I think we have to bring this up because it's, I think, quite unknown what's going to happen after this race with those penalties. I think the end result could be very different than the actual official standings of this race, because yeah, in my opinion, I think there were a lot of penalties who shouldn't have been given out, certainly during the safety car period. But we'll see what the steward's view is on that one. For now,
that being said, I haven't actually noticed any of this safety cars so far, so maybe it's just...
Yeah, that's odd. That's true. But still, though, 10-second penalties during safety cars, whatever you do, doesn't matter as long as you don't overtake anyone, I guess.
Yeah, you can't get an advantage. If you do, then you'll get a penalty. You have to drive at set speed. You're not allowed to overtake anyone. There's no way to get an advantage. So I would say, as we said earlier, just pretty sure a lot of those penalties will get removed. And just watching as everyone files through turn one behind the safety car. Looks like Captain Stiff's pitting again and changing his wing. Did he have an issue on his outlet? Who knows?
Possibly. By the way, do you think this is a good thing for Lozak, this safety car? I guess it is.
Well, it's helping to save wear on his tyres.
There's a penalty again, by the way.
Yeah, for Tony, I honestly don't know what's happening there. But yeah, back to Lozak, I think, yeah, he's saving tyre wear, but he's also losing tyre temperature. He's going to be really struggling to keep those tyres warm.
Yeah, and then it's hard to get the hard tyres back into their rhythm, isn't it?
Yeah, well, for sure. They do last quite a while, but they have the least grip of all the tyres around here. So, again, he will probably be able to hold off the likes of Jacob and Mr. Steen initially, but will he struggle later on?
Yeah, what to say? It's also good for Matty, I think, this safety car, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, like the laps moving on, not getting too much tire wear out of it, but
yeah, I mean, he must have used his tyres, to be honest. This safety car is in this lap again.
Okay,
just to recap,
interesting.
We've got Lozak on old tyres, we've got Jacob and Mr. Steen with slightly broken front wings. And then we've got Sab, Aaron and Humbo, all with better tyre wear and better conditioned cars, but
yeah. Just a question what their pace is going to be like, because Lozak has really shown, even though having worse tyres or a broken front wing, he can be very quick. So we'll see what he does with the restart again. Last time out he went very slow, very long.
And he hasn't gone.
Jacob almost going into the back of him, and I think he's gone now, but Jacob is very sharp on this one. Seems to be very close, alongside to him actually. Going 3 wide, further back, but Jacob fends it off.
Yeah, so we've seen Humberstone getting past Aaron. I think he forced Aaron wide, but it looked like a fairly good move. Jacob gets a 3-second penalty. It looks like Aaron is going to line Humberstone up, try and get him back down into turn 5.
So those guys are very close together now. Aaron around the outside. That's a good move. A little bit wide, but I think it's fair play now. Great defending from Humberstone as well.
And Aaron's just been forced slow through that corner. Is Dan going to get him? I don't think he is. No.
Let's see what Sab can do now as well against Steen and Jacob, who've got broken front wings. Because he probably knows that Mr. Steen has got a broken front wing, but not that Jacob has got one. So interesting to see if he can make a move soon.
Yeah, certainly. It looks like Lozak is handling things fairly well at the minute. Again, it's shown his pedigree. Obviously, he's won a number of races this season already, so it just looks like he's going to continue that at the minute anyway. over a second now in front of Jacob, who seems to be really struggling. As does Steen, actually.
Sab very close now. No, I think he will wait until the long straight. Dan picking up a penalty.
I don't think DRS is activated yet, so I think...
Oh no, you're right on that one.
I think Sab probably would have made that pass there if it had been, but it's actually now Humberstone who's a little bit closer to Sab as well, maybe? And as ever with safety car restarts, it's hard to know what to look at. There's so many close cars happening throughout the field.
It's so close.
Difficult to know. Just looking back at the front, Lozak is now 1.5 seconds in front, so
yeah.
I think he's answering that question. I think he's got this in the bag. 1.7, 1.8. He's just putting away every second, every metre of the track is just moving away at the moment.
Yeah, but obviously it's a shame for Jacob and Steen that they can't catch up. They've got broken front wings as well. But we were...
Oh, and we've got between Matty and TV, so Matty with another broken front wing.
TB is also, his race has gone from bad to worse actually, now running around in last place. Certainly not what he would have been hoping.
So both of those drivers have got really badly broken front wings. Surely they're going to pit again, but DRS has enabled Warris, so...
Yeah, I'm watching Mr. Steen now. And Humberstone is also very close. And Aaron is also very close to him. Yeah, Aaron went wide, 3-second penalty, not ideal for him. But I was just saying, we were really sort of confused. Jacob and Mr. Steen didn't pit, but I think in the end it's the right decision because people are not really attacking them at this point, and it seems like they can hold their podium that way. Otherwise, it would have been a much more difficult story, hasn't it? Or wouldn't it have been?
Yeah, I think they would have been difficult to come back through the field, certainly, but their pace seems to just be enough to hold off the likes of Sab and Humberstone, who, to be honest, they're not really working together, they're more focused on fighting each other, to be honest. But at the minute, there's no, apart from Lozak and Jacob and obviously Captain Stiff downwards, there's no more than a few tenths between all of the cars.
Yeah.
Really brilliant racing there.
The fight for the podium could still go either way, really. If someone makes a little mistake, they could 4 or 5 other people pick up the last place on the podium. So I think it will be very interesting to watch this race till the end of the 31 laps.
Certainly been worth watching for sure so far, but yeah, there's still I think there's 5 laps left. Humberstone is looking like he's close behind Sab again.
Yeah, I'm just watching it now. Yeah, Aaron is also close, but obviously will be difficult to attack as Hummer's got a massive slipstream. And for Hummer as well, because Sab has got DRS, still got DRS on Mr. Steen, which makes it hard to get really close. And Sab is getting closer again to those top 3 drivers.
Yeah, so as it looks, obviously Lozak is just taken off now. 3.7 seconds. As long as he doesn't accumulate any genuine corner cut penalties, or any more rather, and he keeps it on track. I think he has got this one in the bag now. He's just got to keep it nice and tidy, stroke it home through the corners, and he should have it.
Yeah, really good job on those 17 lap old hard tires. Because yeah, surely you can say the drivers behind their front wing damage, but also the drivers behind them can't really get closer. So it seems to be, yeah, that Lozak has got the best pace by far in this race.
Saying that, he has just got himself another 3-second time penalty, so that could play into things. And there's another yellow.
Yeah, Tony Wise retired. Let's see what has happened. As TB is coming close to it right now, I guess.
Yellow flag in sector 1, so it must have been towards the start of the lap.
Yeah, I'm just watching TB to see if the car is still there.
And it looks like Sab has got Mr. Steam whilst we were busy trying to work out.
Great job.
Looks like it's been a clean move because he's got his front wing all intact, so Mr. Steam now under pressure from Humberstone, and a brilliant move from Sab. He's on his way hopefully to a well-earned podium here.
Yeah, this is massive for Sab, I guess. He's been questioning his pace lately, also last week a little bit, and everyone told him he just had a little bit of bad luck. His pace is good enough, and he's showing it this time out. Great job from him. Third, stayed out of problems. I wouldn't say invisible, but just not visible in any bad way this race, and he's now up for a podium, maybe even a second place. So props to him.
I mean, I'm just going to check the race director because I'm not sure if he's actually got any penalties at all.
Aaron J, 3-second penalty. So those guys are still very close to each other. I'll just go on board with Mr. Steen. Yellow flag sector 1. So what has happened? Oh, something has happened to Humberstone, I guess. He's lost about 3-4 seconds. Maybe even more. So he's out of that battle. As the battle continues.
He's still got... Doesn't look like he's got any damage, so he must have had...
A half spin?
Half spin maybe. It's Aaron, Dan and RG are battling it out tooth and nail.
Touches the wall, Dan, and the front wing is completely gone. That's everyone by.
I was just watching that. I think there maybe was just enough space, but you just obviously just clipped the wall slightly.
Yeah.
It's enough to...
He sort of very oddly clipped the wall.
Yeah, just enough to spear him back across the track into the other ball. That's really a pity for Dan. He'd come back well there, and such a pity is...
Oh, as I think Aaron is actually letting Dan by now. That's very, very a very good gesture from him. But I'm not really sure if it was actually his mistake.
No, I'm not sure either. And Aaron's got broken front wing as well, so very gentlemanly. I personally probably wouldn't have done it myself. But there we go.
Breaks even more of his front wing. Just to come back on the penalties, how was it for Sab? Did you check it?
Yeah, so it looked like Sab had a 5-second penalty for a collision with Jacob, but I'm not sure when that was served.
Yeah, I believe that was... Oh, so it could have been served already.
Yeah, well, issued rather. So yeah, it could have been served in one of the pit stops under the safety cars.
Yeah, but I think I saw it during a safety car. And Sab didn't make... Oh, there's another...
Dan retires, and... I mean, this means if everyone stays on track, they're going to get points.
Yeah. But I think Sab picked it up at the last safety car, so that 5-second penalty stays. But what about Mr. Steen?
Let's have a look at Mr. Steen. So, I mean, it's tough to be honest with you, Warstander. There's so many things logged on the race director. It's hard to keep track of where everyone is.
Yeah, that's true. By the way, Jacob's lost a lot of his front wing now, so Sab is probably going to get by him very soon. Moves alongside. This will be a good move around the outside. Oh, he really had to back out of that because that could have cost him the podium if he didn't. Very smart driving from Sab there. Jacob though putting Sab in a position he certainly doesn't want to be in. Crucial for Sab now to get past quickly. As Mr. Steen obviously is getting closer as well.
Yeah, so Jacob's really going to be struggling. Surely Savage is going to fly straight past him. Yeah, look at that. It's already done for the corner exit pretty much. And that's Sab up into a brilliant second place as it stands on track.
Look at the gap, by the way, from Lozak. It's 13 seconds already. Yeah, obviously Jacob has been holding them up, but what a performance once again from this guy.
I mean, if he was able to drop some assists or was racing without some assists, he would be doing very well in the F1 League at the minute.
Yeah, he really will.
He's just really commanding.
I think it's just a question how... Yeah, go on.
He's obviously not perfect. He hasn't won every race so far this season, but he's doing such a good job.
He's just so quick. Because he's got a few broken front wings and just not always very clean, but he's just so quick he can still move away from people. So it's only the question how much you will lose when you go driving without assists. But I think it would be great to see him try that because he's certainly got the pace.
He certainly has, yeah. Just in all of that, I think Mr. Steen is not really surprised, although he's got a broken front wing himself. He's got past Jacob, who's fallen back massively into the grips of Humberstone as well again now. And I remember looking back a few laps ago, and we were saying Captain Stiff was making a random extra pit stop under the safety car for possibly breaking his wing on the outlap, and he's now in 6th.
Yeah, that's how quickly it can go, really. Just staying on track, certainly in races like these. It's so important.
Humberstone and Jacob battling on track. Jacob somehow held him off in turn 1, and we're on the last lap as well, so it's all to play for still.
Just looking at the race results. Yeah, so for both Steen and Sab, that would be their first podium of the season. So that's great for them. I think they will be really happy with that.
Certainly, I mean, Mr. Steen's had podiums and race wins even before in F2, but I think this might well be Sab's best result in the F2 League ever, which will be, if he can hold it, if his penalties aren't served, he's got too many of them, this will be brilliant for him.
So he's only got a 5-second penalty.
I have a feeling Mr. Steen might well have more than that, so obviously Humberstone is quite close behind though still, possibly within 5 seconds, so even if Sab's still in 3rd, that would be great for him.
Yeah, as Lozak is coming around the final turn, fireworks are out, great job from him. Had a few difficulties early on with the broken front wing, but now just in the last few laps really commanding that race. And Sab, now we will get the answer about the penalties. Sab coming over the line in 2nd place. That's a 5-second penalty. Mr. Steen moves ahead of him. Humberstone doesn't, so those guys are on the podium. Jacob goes up into 4th. Captain Steven to 5th. Humberstone moves down, I think also because of penalties, but we'll see later on obviously what is going to happen with those penalties because of the during the safety car.
Yeah, he was one of the biggest victims. I think he got a 10-second penalty for some reason or other, which is very harsh penalty to give under the safety car.
Matty and Aaron J are just fighting it out over the line right now for the final spot, but I believe Aaron has picked it up. Yeah, he does. So that's the 9th. 10 finishes. Props to the guys who made it to the end. Picking up points. And obviously also to the podium. If you can just go on and invite them to the party. Or aren't you able to?
Yeah, I will try for sure.
It might be on post. because I had to do it so quickly. But we're seeing those podium celebrations. Lozak picking up the record of most wins in an F2 season with that as well. So fantastic job. And also with his teammate who was getting a little bit closer, losing out massively. This night he's extending his championship lead to such extent that he's almost got it in the bag already. Yeah, so guys, I think I have to go to the blue screen for a minute because Mac isn't able to get the people in. I'll just invite everyone.
Yeah, so whilst Morris Land's doing that, just running through the race order. So Lodestack in first, Mr. Steen, Sab on the podium, then it's Jacob, Captain Stiff, Humberstone in 6th, RG in 7th, TV, Aaron, Matty in 10th, and then everyone else is DNF'd. So we're looking at DNFs for Ferocious Dan, Tony, SD Max, Colin, and unfortunately MJ peaked quite early on.
Yeah, but what a race! Let's just go through it. Yeah, we had 2 virtual safety cars first, and then 2 actual safety cars as well, which I think changed a lot during this race.
Yeah, I mean that's certainly a big change. We wouldn't have normally expected those for a normal race, and we certainly didn't see them in the other 2 races this week. It was packed full of action, drivers making moves left, right, and centre, drivers having accidents, breaking wings. A really crazy race.
Yeah, it really was. As the drivers are coming into the commentary box, into the interview pen right now, let's just begin with our race winner, Lozak. Great job, mate. Once again, you picked up the record most wins in F2. Little bit of trouble early on with the front wing. Can you just talk us through your race?
Yeah, it started quite well, but when I was trying to overtake Jacob, I hit the wall and broke half of the wing. And then I was scared because I thought TB and the guys behind were gonna pass me, and so I tried to drive very quiet and very careful to not damage anymore. And then after the pit stop I felt very well, had a few battles, and then in the safety car I didn't want to lose my position, so I stayed out, even if I was on hard tires, quite used by the way, but in the end it worked anyway, so I'm really happy.
Yeah, we were also a little bit surprised you didn't pit, but I think in the end it played out very well. Were you surprised when you could still retain the gap to your teammate early on, and did that then also give you the confidence to stay out during the safety car, that your pace was good?
Yeah, because I knew my pace was very good right around here, but with Alpha from wing I didn't know so well. But yeah, I managed to stay at least 2 seconds ahead of TB, and then I pit almost at the same light and the same lap. Then I was pitted without the front wing damage, and then my race gone on quite well, I think.
Yeah, were you frustrated when all those safety cars came out and virtual safety cars, or was it nice to have a little bit of calmness through those hectic laps through the Singapore streets?
Yeah, because I was really nervous that Jacob and the guys behind with fresh mediums were gonna pass me at the restart, but I saved quite a lot ERS for the restarts, and gone off the 2 times quite well. So Yeah, I was nervous because the second, especially the second, it was really random, so
Yeah.
I didn't understand that.
Yeah, but anyways, great job, mate. We'll move on to P2 and P3. I think P2 is for you, Mac.
Yeah, well, we don't have Mr. Steen in, I'm afraid, so we'll go to the man who got P2 on track, as it seems, and maybe lost down penalties, Sab. How was
I
that for you,
don't.
mate?
I don't know how I've got penalties. I'm going to be contesting that because I only got 2 warnings throughout the whole race, and at the end, everybody got penalties, including myself. And then I didn't have anything on my screen. I checked at the end, and even Jacob said he checked with his race engineer, and he said I had no penalties. So that is a surprise to me. Apparently, I had a 5-second penalty from somewhere, but I'll be obviously checking that. But just going on to the race, I'd have to say it was just all about keeping it clean tonight, and that's what I managed to do. I seen there was a lot of incidents, a lot of safety cars, and yeah, I just tried to make sure I keep away from the wall because I've seen a few people colliding with the wall, and if I could just keep it clean, then we're going to make some places up. And I'll be honest, it's a surprise sitting in here talking to you right now, but yeah, I'll take it definitely, and I'll definitely be contesting that P2 because I should have had that.
I mean, I think you're being a little bit hard on yourself because I think your pace was really good as well. I mean, great job of keeping it clean for sure, but you really, well, mid top 10 throughout the whole race and keeping close to the likes of Steen and Jacob, even when they hadn't broken a wing. So, how do you feel about that? Considering I think you've been struggling a little bit in previous races, how do you think that's really boosted you?
Yeah, it really has. I'll be honest, stepping up to F2 has been it's been a wake-up call, I have to say. But I was struggling, especially last week, struggling with the whole league, and yeah, this race definitely is a big boost. It felt good to be able to keep with the likes of those guys, you say, because usually those guys are a long way ahead of me, and to battle with the likes of Aaron as well and keep him behind on the faster tyre early on as well was really good. So yeah, I'm really delighted. Fingers crossed I can keep hold of P2 because I'm gobsmacked I even got into the podium, never mind P2, so hopefully I can keep hold of it.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly looked like there were quite a few strange penalties for a number of drivers under the safety cars, so I'm sure the stewards and admins will be looking at that. But yeah, brilliant job, Sab. It's really good to see you do that well. Just a quick question for both of you. Obviously, we're coming to the end of the season. How do you think your season's gone so far, and where do you think you'll be going next season? Do you think you'll be staying in F2? Lozak first. Let's go to Lozak first.
Sorry, I didn't hear the question.
I was just saying, how do you think the season's gone so far, mate? And where do you think you'll be racing next season? Do you think you'll still be in F2?
Yeah, I talked to Craig, and he said obviously I'm going to go to F1 next season, so I have only to learn without assist, and then I could race with the F1 guys. But the season has gone pretty well, but with some up and downs. Some races didn't go as planned for incidents, penalties, etc. But in the end, I'm quite happy, and there's been also some very close races with Aaron and Jacob, something like this. So it was really fun, and I really enjoyed the league so far.
Good to hear, mate. What about you, Sam? How do you feel about next season?
Well, I always went into this season as in the new season at F2, stepping up for F3, using it as basically a learning curve. I knew it was going to be a lot harder. I probably didn't expect it to be this hard, but overall, I think the season, I don't want to say it's been poor because I expected it to be hard, but it's certainly been difficult, and I think if I can use these sort of results and get more practice on the belt, hopefully next season I can go into it looking to score better points rather than just hovering outside the top 10 or within the top 10 every race. Hopefully I can get like within the top 6 or 7.
That'd be good, certainly. Boris, do you have any more questions for Lozak and Sab?
Yeah, I was just Also, obviously, next week we've got a totally different track, Austria. How are you guys feeling on that one? Starting with Lozak?
Yeah, but Austria isn't a really good track for me, especially the last sector. I picked always a warning in the last two corners, but it's quite good, quite fast, but I don't very like it because it's four turns, right, and nothing more, I think.
Yeah. So you don't really like your pace, but you don't like the way the track is as well. Not really exciting track, you think?
Yeah, I don't really like the track, but my pace is okay, and no, nothing to shame about it, but I don't really like the track, so we're gonna see how it works.
Yeah, we'll see, I guess. What about you, Sab?
Can you repeat the question, sorry?
What do you think about Austria? How are you feeling towards that?
Sorry, I did hear that. Sorry, apologies. Yeah,
No
I
problem.
really enjoy. I really enjoy Austria. It's a good track. You usually get some good battles and overtakes around there. So it's going to be a lot different to what we've just raced now. So hopefully I can carry on the form what I've suddenly found tonight and try and score more points for myself and the team.
Yeah, you were just talking about tonight, just trying to be clean. You know, getting through it. Is that also your approach for next week, or do you maybe want to be a little bit more aggressive?
My initial approach is probably the same, to try and keep it clean again. I'd like to be more aggressive, but I found myself early on in the season just picking up silly wing damage and losing time. So, being cautious can sometimes not be the greatest way of approaching things. But at the moment, like I say, with learning F2, I'd rather try and finish races off and see where I am, and then go into next season with a different mindset of attacking the top 10 and hopefully scoring better points.
Yeah, I think it's really proved tonight that being clean can get you a long way. So big props to you, big congrats to you. Big congrats to Lozak as well. Mac, you've got anything to add to that?
No, I think that's it. Warris also just obviously Mr. Steve's not here, but he did also finish on the podium. Not sure whether it's second or third, but great job from Mr. Steve as well.
Yeah, really, we gotta admire that as well. You're right on that one.
Okay, so, well, I think that's a thank you to Lozak and Sab for joining us in the commentary box.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's about it. Great race tonight, and thank you for helping us out as well, helping me out. Hopefully next week we'll be a little bit better. Hopefully Dan's PlayStation will be fixed, and we'll see you again then for the Austrian Grand Prix.
Cheers, mate. Cheers.
Good night.
Bye.